All right, so you're ready to record your first podcast. Do you have a microphone? Who's going to distribute for you? Do you have a studio? What about the editing? All right, everyone relax because I think I have the answer. Anchor app. Yeah, Anchor. It's free. They distribute Spotify, Apple, many more. There's creation tools that allow you to edit and create your podcast from your phone, your laptop, or your personal computer. And the best thing of all, girl, you can make money no matter how many listeners you have. So the answer is simple. Get Anchor. Anchor FM app. Go find it now. Tell them a seat at the table sent you.
What are you doing here? Da, 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 da. I said, what are you doing here? Da, 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 da.
All right, no, but seriously, what are you doing here? I love a pop-up. I love a drive-by. You know, all right. I'm about to tell a little bit on myself, okay? Back in the day, right? Picture it. Philly. Probably like circa 2000 and I don't know, like a I don't know. I don't even know, y'all. Like mija, like 2009 or whatever. Anyway. Bitch. Don't you know that whilst on a business trip, I inveigled my friends to go on a drive-by in the hood of Philadelphia just to fucking drive by a nigga's house? Oh, I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. But who doesn't love a good drive-by, right? So here I am, popping in. We pop out at your party. I'm with the... Yeah. All right. I just figured, who doesn't love a moment where you could just get with the homies, rolling with the homies? Can we just talk about some things that have happened today? Because, like, all right, everybody take a breath. You know what? Grab your blunt. Light the blunt. In the words of Katrina Laverne Taylor, light the blunt, bitch. Okay. Hold on. All right. Here we go. All right, so bitch, what the fuck is a wonton murder or wonton charges? Here these niggas come with these wonton charges and shit. Nigga, I don't want no fucking wontons, okay? Like wonton charges or whatever the fuck y'all calling that shit. The gag is, so you mean y'all killed this woman in her house looking for a nigga who was already locked up, right? Y'all go to her house, y'all don't announce yourselves. Her man busts a cap in your fucking leg, and y'all just start busting off shot. Like, it's the Wild Wild West out here, y'all. It's the Wild Wild West out here, okay? And not the Will Smith one, okay? All right. Okay, listen. I mean, how do y'all feel about this? You know, they got a curfew enacted out there in Louisville, but in all honesty, like, don't you just want to tear some shit up right now? Ugh. You know what I really want to do? I want to come to a place of mindfulness and consciousness as a community that things like that aren't acceptable anymore. It just isn't, you know? Can someone tell Kanye West to leave us alone? Can someone tell him to leave us alone? So here he come fucking with his shit, talking about I'm giving all good music artists back the 50% share I have on their masters. Okay. So you're going to give, all right. So you're going to give these artists the 50% shares you have in their masters, which quite frankly, you probably only have 50% because you sold the rest of their shit because you had your own financial trouble. But you know what I mean. But furthermore, let's talk about some other things, Kanye. Since you're here, cop a squat, bitch. And I shouldn't even be calling you. Ooh, Ooh, jeez, devil flee from me. All right, so you know what, y'all, we ain't finna call him out his name, but one of the congregants has something to say to Mr. West. I believe her name is Azealia Banks, and I quote, "Okay, now pay me for the Yeezy modular kit I designed and the months of consultation that went with it. Pay me for my work on Skims and pay Matthew Pastoriza for the stolen choreography for the Fade video. And by the way, why don't you apologize for calling that black girl at your rally Sister Soldier? Apologize for calling your wife a whore. Apologize for terrorizing Northwest with that abortion meltdown. Apologize for sexually harassing Taylor Swift. And by the by, why don't you congratulate Tiana Taylor on her new baby?" Now, I'm going to have to just pass that one on to Miss Azalea as my podcast brethren, the read peoples would say, that was a pass the read, okay? Kanye, can you leave us alone? Why is it that you always pop out with some dumb shit to say when we need to be focused on something else? And this leads me to my next topic. The fact that a lot of these niggas out here, I'm telling y'all, one of my friends who will go unnamed because, okay, unnamed. But one of my friends and I were talking about the workplace, right? And we were talking about how one of the things that we've realized is that black men in particular positions, the positions to elevate, other black creatives, definitely have an agenda on who they choose to extend an helping hand to. Now, in this case, one of the brothers that I know for sure in my own personal experience has been, he's never going to help a black woman. He's never going to help a black woman, especially a strong black woman, perhaps a feeble black woman, a go along to get along kind of bitch, a bitch who would yield not because she don't got a mind of her own or whatever, but she's going to yield because, quite frankly, she's just happy to be there. And that's no shade, but I'm just saying, okay? The fact of the matter is that unless you are extending a helping hand to the most qualified, to the one who's going to really challenge you to raise the bar, then it's just an agenda. I've been listening to Kanye West, and no shade, I've been listening to Joe Budden, I've been listening to Charlemagne, I've been listening to all these niggas talk about their positions of power as it pertains to finances, as it pertains to moving in particular areas, and how they are looking for equity. And my thing is, a lot of times, the reason why it's hard to have these conversations with hetero black men, or to have these conversations with a lot of, misogynistic people, because that's not just relegated to just men, but a large part of the problem with that kind of thought process is that people like that oftentimes will hide behind the facade of equity, when in fact what they are jockeying for is a place of power positioning and financial power positioning. Doesn't mean that they're looking for all of us to be equal. They just want they want a seat at the white man's table as it pertains to power and as it pertains to finances. But they're not out here fighting for equity. Listen, holding up the bloodstained banner of issues when it's on the table, like, we are behind, the black woman who's been shot. We are behind the black woman who had a bad experience at this, place or whatever. We're behind this, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but to me, unless you are seeking equity for everyone in all ways, always, then I'm sorry, I can't go march for you when you're looking for a place of power or when you are looking for a place at the table of the white man's finance table. You know, you want to be on the board of their business. Nigga, go make your own fucking business. If it's all that, go make your own fucking business. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, you know, I oftentimes, and if this is the first time that you've ever listened to me, you're listening to a Seat at the Table podcast where there's always a seat for you, but never forget, but never forget that if you aren't at the table, then bitch, you was on the menu. Right. Now, stars, they're just like us. Maybe they have a little bit more money. Maybe they have access to more vices, if you will. But they're just like us. And, you know, whether it is the man who is jockeying for a position of power at the workplace or in a particular genre or wanting to jockey for a seat at the white man's financial table, so to speak, or whether it is the brother who is a chauvinistic pig and doesn't know how to respect a woman, even if it came and slapped him upside the head. To me, it's all one and the same. The brother who is talking ill about, you know, people of the LGBTQIA community. You know what I mean? Like, to me, equity means for all, in all ways, all ways. And my problem why I cannot fight for a lot of these niggas is because you're not looking for equity for all in all ways. You're looking for a seat at the power table with the man. You want to be there with him, man. But King, don't you know that you are bad enough to start your own fucking table? Listen, here's how I see it. I'm not the biggest podcast. I'm not the best. I'm not the most glossy. You know, I don't have merch to sell. I don't have, you know, amazing guests every week. You know, I'm not one of the proverbial hit girls, you know, but I'm consistent. I'm dedicated and I mean this shit. And for that alone, I feel like if this means that I can do this or I can help somebody else do this or do anything for that matter, then I'm doing my job, even from my little even from my little corner of the universe. Even from my little corner of the universe. And listen, shout out to all the people who, because listen, your protest is different. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that for a minute, because a lot of people are bold protesters. They're going out there, they're marching, they got the signs, they doing the talk, they walking the walk, and that's dope. A lot of people are probably just more fanned, you know, protesters. They'll repost on their social media. They'll probably buy a shirt, wear it down the street. You know, they are informed. They know what's going on. You know, they can talk to somebody with intelligence and inform them. To me, that's a form of protest too. Maybe you just out here informing the ignorant in circles that some of us could never reach. Yo, don't sleep on that. That's a form of protest. If you just the person at your job giving other people that look like us opportunities, that's a form of protest. And not just some of us that look like us. Like, I'm not just giving black women opportunities. I'm giving black people opportunities. Varying. I'm giving brown people opportunities. Varying. Never skewed to one side. And if that's your form of protest, then that's your form of protest. Maybe your form of protest is just making sure that your house is correct. Making sure that your mentals is straight. To me, that's a form of protest too, because it's like,